When it comes to navigating selling the family home, especially when there's siblings involved, often you're still going through a grieving process if you've just lost your loved one. How do you navigate that? And I guess some tips that families can use to help during that process, that highly charged, emotionally charged process.
Yeah. Look, it is really not always as straightforward, as simple as what you might think. And unfortunately, there's usually executors and people that aren't executors, so you have already a little bit of angst possibly around that too, because people see that as you being favoured to be the executor, and the executors have a big job, and it's not a job that you necessarily want. But it could be thrust upon you, and then you've got to deal with your other siblings with regards to what happens now. So there's decisions to be made about, how do we go about the process? Do we clean out the house? Do we leave the house as it is? Should we do work to the house? Do we not do work to the house? How much money am I going to get? How long is this process going to take? How long does probate take? So there's a lot of questions that come up for different individuals, and not everybody understands that process, and an executor has to get up to speed really quickly, and their best friend really is the solicitor, who can guide them through that process, and then they actually have to spend time articulating that clearly and communicating it very clearly, and possibly even putting it in writing so people can refer back to it. Because we know that when there's death, there's a lot of emotions, and some people handle it really well and some people don't, and sometimes somebody can be handling it really well and then just crumble. So it can be a very emotionally charged moment, not just a moment, but a period of time that you've got to get through. And I'm really sorry to tell you, it's not a quick process. And probate, the fastest I've ever seen probate be done is a few weeks. However, most of the time they take 6 months, and the longest period of time I've ever heard is 12 months. So be prepared that this is not going to be a quick process. You could put your property on the market and have a sale, and that can be just part of this overall process, and that might not take that long, but there's other parts to it that need to be dealt with. So I've had situations where it's been really easy, it's just been a couple of siblings and they agree on everything, and then I've had situations where somebody hasn't even been buried and siblings are already wanting to know what the house is worth, when can we get it on the market, and there's been parties in that family that have not even had a chance to grieve and just bombarded with that, let's get it sold, and it overwhelms them. And it's really difficult. So it's important that people all get on the same page, and the quicker you can do that, the better. So it's really just, like I said, talking to the solicitor. You've got the process that you have to go through, and you need to get expert advice and be able to tell the siblings what that advice is and where to from here, and have maybe even a bit of a timeline set out so it's very, very clear. I think one of the things too to remember is just to listen to everybody. Be respectful. Some people can say something with 5 words and other people take 50. So you have to be patient, and it's quite difficult, isn't it, with siblings, because you know them the best.
There's no filter.
There's no filter, and I think it's probably a good idea to put a filter on a little bit, and just try and take it easy, and be kind to each other, and respectful, and be really kind to each other during this process, because you really don't know how somebody is going to respond. And that person, you can have one person that's been really fantastic all their life, very logical and everything. A death occurs of a parent, and that's That's the hardest one, I think, to deal with, because you're actually progressing up the ladder of life yourself, and you think, wow, you know, they're no longer there. It feels like a bit of a protection, doesn't it, when you've got your parents around? And then if somebody passes, then you think, wow, you know, I'm next. And so there's not only the death of someone, it's how it impacts on you and how you reflect on your own life. So there's a lot of things that can go on. And listen, if it gets too much, have a break.
Yeah, that's right.
Just say, I'm just going to be out for a couple of weeks. I just need some time out, and do that. Don't let somebody else drag you along when you may have reservations about something, or you need some clarity, or you just need some time out. Take the time out if you need it.
Yeah, no, that's good. I really like that. Look, if you're in a situation like this, or you're, you know, looking towards this, and you want a real estate agent who cares and who's going to be able to help you navigate that process, then please reach out and chat to Joanne here at One Agency JD Property Agents, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.